All right, everybody, welcome into another episode of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics. I'm here with Connor Bates and Chapel Pope, and these two guys is no stranger to this show or any kind of sporting event here. I talked to both of these gentlemen off the camera earlier about playing all three sports. Let's start with that. Each one of you guys, Chapel, you can go first there. Playing all three sports here, including summertime. Do you have a single week off? Is there a single week that you have nothing to do sports related here at Spring Garden?
Yes, sir. We have 2 to 3 weeks in the summer. We normally get the first week out of school off, and then like the 4th of July week, and there's one other dead week we get. But that's about it. We get maybe 1 or 2 days in between sports if we get lucky.
What do you do on that week or those weeks that you get off? What do you do away from sports? Because it's got to be weird to you to have nothing to do.
Well, most of the time I still will work out and try to get a few reps in. But, I try to get some rest too because, you don't get much of it during the season. So, I use that time.
Oh, absolutely. Same question to you.
Yeah, like he said, we get 1 or 2 weeks during the summer and a couple days during the season after the sport that you're playing over into the next one. And then, but whenever we have our off weeks, I try to come up here and work out at least 3 times a week. And then I get rest, and then,
All right, next question is, you guys make deep playoff runs in every sport as well. So, deep playoff runs for you guys are the norm around here, which normally hurts the season behind it. So, you have deep playoff football run, and that usually you coming into basketball late. Then you have another deep basketball run. You're down at JSU, and then you come into baseball late. How long does it take you guys to adjust in between sports? Baseball's different because it's a lot of hand-eye coordination, mechanics, and things that you don't have in these other sports.
Yeah, going from football to basketball it's just about getting in shape, getting in basketball shape especially, and then getting your shot right. And then going from basketball to baseball, it's a lot different because it's, like you said, it's a lot of hand-eye coordination stuff. But
it's a different world, though.
Yeah.
Same question for you, Chapel.
Yeah, going from basketball to baseball it's different than the other ones because, most of the time, basketball and football, it's just a different type of conditioning you have to worry about. But baseball, hand-eye coordination is, a lot different. But, I try to get reps during basketball season so I don't really lose what I already had. So I ain't really too far behind.
Now, you guys had a tremendous run in basketball, made it all the way down to the Elite Eight, and had a phenomenal game, fourth quarter game, ended up losing. How long did it take you guys to get over that situation? That was a tough loss. We was right there with you all every step of the way to kind of get motivated to get back in here and know that you got this big task of baseball ahead of you.
It took some time. We was all really disappointed in how it finished. I thought we could do better. We didn't play our best game, but you couldn't dwell on it too long because you have another sport, and if you're dwelling on the past, in the future, it's not going to be good.
Absolutely.
Like he said, it took a while to get over it, but like he said, you can't dwell on the past. But yeah, it took me at least a week to get over it.
Now, what were some of the things you guys do individually to get ready for baseball? I know when you come in here after that and you're like, all right, it's time to focus up, let's get ready baseball-wise. What's some of the things you do personally that helps you get into baseball mode?
Well, I try to go down there and hit every night just to get my swing back, and then I try to get some reps catching and stuff like that just to get my mind right and get back in baseball mode.
Absolutely. Chapel, same question for you.
Yeah, I like to go down to the cage and get some reps. Also do some arm care work because going in and throwing a baseball quick like that, having a game early, your arm can get really sore. So I like to take care of that and make sure I don't hurt nothing.
Coming out of football, though, this is just a Chapel question here. Throwing the football and throwing the baseball are two different mechanics, but on you, does it affect you in the same place, like elbow, shoulder? What affects you when you throw both?
People say I throw a football like I throw a baseball, so it's there's not really much difference in my mechanics wise. I'm sure there is if I watched a video of it, but I just try to take care of my elbow because that hurts some. But that's about it.
Gotcha. Mine's elbow. Some people's shoulder. It's different with different people. All right, this question is for both of you. How's the season going up to this point for team-wise and individually-wise?
As a team, we've done pretty good. Have a pretty good record. We've been playing pretty good together. We started off like better than I feel like most people on the team expected, like coming in from basketball so quick and having a game early. And we're just trying to like keep building on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like he said, we came in and played better than most of us expected us to play that first game. And then, like he said, we're just trying to build on that and get as much better as we can throughout the season.
Now, individually, how's it going for you?
I've been hitting the ball pretty solid, I feel like. And I feel like I've been a wall behind the plate. So, I feel like it's going pretty well.
Absolutely.
Fielding-wise, we've done pretty good. I need to work on the play a little bit. I'm a little bit out in front on everything. I got to learn how to sit back.
Absolutely. Now, last night, take us through the game last night where you guys were trailing. You said it was 8-0?
Yes, sir.
And you come back and won 11-10. Walk us through that, man, because that takes a lot of grit. And I know you said, we talked about it off the camera, but that takes a lot of grit to come back in a game like that, a lot of fight, a lot of grit. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we started out real sluggish. Like, getting off the bus, you could tell, like, we wasn't really prepared mentally. And, like, in between innings, like, the coaches kept, like, trying to build us up. And, like, we finally had a spark at the top of the fifth, had some hits, like, gained 5 runs or 6 runs. And that really, like, got some energy going. And then, like, the pitching came in, and they shut them down. And that was, like, really good.
It's a different world when you get on a roll like that. From your perspective, what it looked like, Mr. Bates?
Yeah, like he said, we came in real sluggish, not motivated to play. But then, like he said, the coaches kept on us, trying to motivate us. And then finally in the top of the fifth, I think we had scored 2, and then Zane Edwards hit a 3-run bomb. And then I think that's really what sparked us.
That was it. After that, it was on. All right, moving forward, before I let you guys get out of here, a few more questions for you. Baseball, this is you guys' last run. Connor, you're senior too, no, junior. Well, it's Chapel. Let me talk to Chapel just a second. It's going to be your last run right here in baseball. Obviously, you want to go out with a blue map. You guys got some guys in place that can make that dream a reality. What's it going to take to get this team clicking at the right time? Clicking down the stretch here, we get into area play, but you got to improve each and every time out in baseball, obviously. But you want to be playing your best baseball towards the end of the season. What do you think that's going to take?
We just got to be prepared mentally and be focused every day coming in. Can't have no steps going backwards. Got to be like focused. Effort is a big thing. We've been preaching lately. Just got to come in with effort and have like a good day of practice or game, and just come up ready to play.
And Connor, you've seen these seniors, this senior group, come up, and you've been a part of them. You went to battle with them, been in the trenches with them. What's some of the takeaways you get from these seniors, these guys that's come up before you, and even the guys before them that has graduated now?
I take their work ethic. All of them have really well work ethic. They come in here, they work out, then they'll go hit for an hour or so, and that's really something that I take away from it.
100%. That's what it's all about. And guys, before I let you out of here, just in your own opinions, how's the team going? What's some of the things you guys can do individually to make this team as good as it can be?
Some things that I could do is I could be better behind the plate. Last night I had several pass balls that scored several runs, and I think I can just be better behind the plate, and I could cheer on my teammates, motivate them to be better.
How vocal are you in the dugout when everybody else is batting? You get after it a little bit?
Yeah, pretty for the most part, yeah.
I like it. Chapel, same question for you. Just individually, how can you help this team?
Be more like have a better leadership role, like hold people accountable, and like also like pick them up when they're down, and just be a good teammate.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys sitting in with us on Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics, and you guys be looking forward to seeing these guys down the stretch here playing some really good baseball. Thank you guys for watching. All right, everybody, welcome back in to Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics, and at this time we have head coach, Coach Cole Murphy, in with us of the Spring Garden Panthers. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Coach, I got to see you the other day out scouting some teams out. I know you guys have got plenty of work to do here. We just talked to the guys. I seen yesterday you guys come back from an 8-0 deficit to win a game, which I think has to have a lot of tremendous grit and fight for your guys to be down 8-0 and then spark themselves and you guys get on momentum to win. But before we even talk about all that, let's rewind it, Coach. How has this season been going for you, in your opinion?
So far it's been pretty good. We've had a couple of games where we play really good and play bad. County championship game was definitely a huge letdown. We didn't show up for that. I feel like I got out coached as well. It was just all around bad game for the program. But outside of that, we started off the season strong, beating Cherokee County and then Hoax Bluff. And anytime you can get a win versus those two teams, it's a really good thing. Then we went into the county tournament, beat Galesville, and then got beat by Cherokee County in the championship game. Then we played Donahoe in one game, and that was one of those games, like, we started off really strong, and then we kind of just got complacent and content and didn't do our job as far as finishing the game and putting it out of reach. Donahoe's a great team. They're coached really well. And then they fought back and ended up making it a ball game that we had to, wake back up and actually play to keep it from, keep it out of reach for them. And then last night was, it was big, started off super slow and was really aggravated with the boys, but they woke up in the fifth inning of that first game, and we ended up ending that game with 17 hits, I think.
God,
yeah, and I think Glencoe had 12, 13. I mean, both teams were hitting the ball really well. Now, neither team threw their best pitchers, but both of them threw. Everybody that was put on the mound last night for both teams were throwing strikes. The pitchers did a really good job. Hitters hit, and there's a lot of reps played in those two ball games. And then the second game was kind of disappointing the way it ended. We started off with I think we had a 6-1 lead, and then we had a bad inning, and they kind of got some momentum going, small balled us with guys on bases. And we were getting outs, but they were trading outs for moving guys around, just like small ball does. And, I was really impressed with how well we handled the small ball defensively.
That's tough.
Yeah, especially, with
frustrating sometimes too.
Yeah, having some younger pitchers on the mound and us being able to handle that pressure of getting off the mound and fielding a bunt and making a good throw, and all of it having to be quick. I was impressed with that. But Glencoe did a good job doing that, moving runners around and scoring a run here and there, keeping the game together and close. And it was just back and forth. And then in the sixth inning, they went up 2 runs on us. And, we got some runners and got in position to win the game, but we had 2 back-to-back base running errors that kind of killed us and ended the game for us.
I understand that. Now, Coach, I talked to the guys about this, but it's different hearing it from them to what your words will be on this. You guys share almost every athlete here at Spring Garden, and every team makes a deep run in every sport. It's incredible. It's boys and girls here that do the same. How tough is that sometimes? I mean, because, you may have, I don't know how many baseball-only guys you have here at Spring Garden, but sometimes you're getting your guys. They was at the Elite Eight. And then in football, they go over to several rounds into the playoffs, which, I don't have to tell you you're a part of it, but it's difficult from a coaching standpoint sometimes to get guys in here and get them in baseball mode, because baseball, to me, I could be wrong, people may disagree with me, that's not a sport you just pick up. The hand and eye coordination, there's a lot of intangibles that goes in baseball. And if you don't get those things corrected early, it can make for a bad season. So can you talk about that a little bit? Sharing so many guys and having to go through that.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I try to focus on during basketball season are the football, baseball guys, or I got a handful of baseball-only guys, is really like making sure when basketball ends, they're ready. Like they're ready, because as soon as basketball's over, we're jumping in with the basketball guys, getting them as many reps possible, trying to get them caught up. And it's difficult and it's a little frustrating, when, especially like, we have to have the county tournament so early to be able to get it in because of the area. There's no way around it for the varsity. And it's aggravating knowing that you're going into a tournament where teams have played 8, 9, 10 games and you've played 2. So that part's a little aggravating.
Makes sense.
Now, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade, being able to play more games for another sport to not be as successful. I love that part of it. And our kids handle it extremely well. And they go from sport to sport, and they hit that next sport, and they're excited, full speed. They're into it, and the biggest thing is just making sure we can get as many reps as possible, before that first game. And then, I picked up two games tomorrow as well. And like right now, we start area next week. I've played one 1A team, and everybody else has been, either I played Donahoe's 2A, and then everybody else is 3 or 4A.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to play as,
Donahoe's a very good 2A too.
Oh yeah, they hit the ball like they smoked the ball against us.
They're good.
And it's like, I'm just trying to get as many good reps as possible, and I don't want to play teams that I know that is going to be hard for us at the beginning of the year, but I want to play teams that's going to make us compete. And no matter who they put on the mound, they're going to be able to throw strikes, so we can get as many quality at bats, and they're going to put the ball in play so we can get defensive reps. And I feel like, especially last night, we got a ton of reps. Like my 1 through 5 hole, all 5 of them had 10 at bats last night, or plate appearances. My bad. So that just alone was huge just for reps. And that in Glencoe, they put the ball in play. Neither team had a whole lot of strikeouts.
Right.
So the ball was getting put in play, and we got a lot better, even though there's a lot to work on still.
In games like that, you better be pretty good in the field.
Yes, and and that's one thing. Like, we're still young. Like, we lost a senior shortstop, a senior center fielder last year, senior third baseman last year. And so, like, we're still young, but the kids do a good job. They did a great job during the summer getting reps in travel ball. I had a bunch of kids go out, get on travel ball teams, and play outside of what we did in the summer. And you can see that in the season so far. And, it's just... That's baseball. You never know really what's going to happen, and you can pretty much just work as much as you can, and just at the end of the day, hope it's your day to make a play.
One thing you guys do know right here at Spring Garden is these guys' character, and their work ethic, because you're around them in all the other sports and in the weight room and all these other times around them. The amount of trust that you have in these guys is probably tremendous. Can you talk about the trust you have in these players, that you know what you're getting before you even step out on the field?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's one thing I like about being here in my schedule. I get to work with my teaching job's elementary, and I love teaching elementary kids, and but like coaching wise, I get to deal with 7 through 12 every day, whether it's in athletics or coaching in football or baseball. And so I get to know these kids really well, and like you said, you do get to build that trust up with each other. And the biggest way that I've kept that going is when they do mess up, like we're going to address every problem.
100%.
And but knowing, like, hey, I can put this kid in this position, this kid in this position, I can put this kid on the mound, and I know exactly what I'm going to get. And if they have an off day, because everybody has one, and it's baseball. So if you have an off day, you just go to the next guy because you trust them. And like games and days like yesterday, where I pitched 7 different kids yesterday, and if we would have tied up or took the lead in the 7th inning, I was about to pitch the 8th guy.
That's incredible.
So like getting those kids those reps and putting them in those positions, one, they get that experience, but 2, it builds trust with their teammates, knowing that they can do that job, but also trust with me, knowing, hey, I'll take advantage of this opportunity and do what I'm supposed to be doing.
First of all, most teams don't have 7 guys they put on the mound.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing all in itself, and especially an 8th, you can almost forget that. But also another thing in baseball is, and I talk to the guys about this, you want to be peaking at the right time. You want to be playing your best baseball towards the end of the year. So these games do matter, or they wouldn't keep score. But what have you learned from the guys, even in some of these close losses and things, about this team, this particular team?
Well, the biggest thing is sometimes it doesn't even look like they're – like yesterday, it didn't look like they were into it. And then they just flipped a switch, and it was like –
shows what they can do.
Yes, and it was just like, hey, we can go get it. And that's where we've got to stop the first 4 innings yesterday, where we're there, but we're not. Like, we can't have that, because especially you get in the area and you're playing your area teams. If we do well and we get to go make it to the playoffs, we're in the playoffs, though you can't have those innings in those games. And that's the biggest thing I've noticed from our guys. And it's just – I got to figure out how I can do a better job making sure we stay at that point.
Gotcha.
And making sure that that's what we're doing inning after inning. And the biggest thing is just putting the ball in play, because I don't think we had a hit until the 4th inning. We had like 1 or 2. Didn't score a run though, but we came back that 5th inning, First batter got on. We got a hit. We scored a couple. We had a home run. I think it was a 3-run home run.
It's on then.
Yeah, and so but all it took was just one person get on base and then us have a hit after. We've got to be able to do that
That's right.
offensively. Now defensively,
Everything can flip.
yesterday I thought we did a good job. I mean, a lot of runs were scored, but it was a lot of fielder choices and a couple errors here and there, maybe a wild pitch, stuff
Gotcha.
like that for both sides. And so, as far as the pitchers and defense they did a pretty good job.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I would say that's probably the thing I've learned so far through this first 7 is keeping us at that level where we need to be at.
I'm going to ask you a controversial question, a couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here because you got stuff to do. I know you don't want to hang out with me all day, but the next question I'm going to ask you, Coach, with the way we watch baseball now on MLB, and kids playing MLB The Show, watching MLB Network, everybody's fell in love with the home run ball. Everybody's fell in love with these guys who can crush the ball and these pitchers who's throwing 100. That's not always the case, especially, when we get in these high school levels. But how do you make the game fun for these guys where what they see on TV is not necessarily what it's going to take to win ball games right here at Spring Garden?
Well, I mean, biggest thing is just making sure our kids are disciplined. And also, sometimes you got to force them to be self-aware, but just making sure they are. Because some of the kids just need to know that's not going to happen this year.
Gotcha.
And so they need to focus on hard ground balls, line drives. So now we have a few guys that they can get that bat going. In some stadiums, they'll be able to get a hold of one on their pitch. And the biggest thing as far as keeping it fun, one of the hitting drills we do, we end it with trying to hit a home run.
Gotcha.
Hey, we're going to give you your home run pitch. See if you can hit it. And
knock it out of here.
that way, one, they understand that's not what I'm going to be doing. But if I do get this pitch, I'm going to try to hit as far as I can.
I got you.
And just trying to keep it fun like that. But like I said, the biggest thing as far as in games and situations like that is just making sure the kids are staying disciplined and doing what we're good at, which we've done so far. So,
Coach, if you had Otani was to transfer here and had a couple of years of eligibility, I'm sure you'd let him swing for the fence.
oh yeah, he can do what
He'd do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
We'll let him throw 100 on the mound.
That's above my coaching level. I'm just going to go out there and just be you.
Yeah, you just be you, brother.
Yeah.
You just keep rocking on. Before we get out of here, Coach, just final thoughts on the season so far and what to look ahead. We're going to be back out here next week to do another show with you, but just final thoughts on the season to where it's at right now. And looking ahead.
Yeah,
too.
well, so far, the 2 losses we have, last night's disappointing because, we had a chance to extend the game or win it, put ourselves in a position, and we had 2 back-to-back mistakes that kill you. And it was base running mistakes that will end the season. If it's area game that you got to win, a playoff game, those mistakes, you can't have them.
Gotcha.
So that part is a little disappointing. And then, looking forward, we've got to fix those small mistakes. We got to get a little better hitting, and then fielding. We got to fix a few small things here and there, moving people around. And then as far as looking forward to the season, we start area next week with Galesville. End the week off with a doubleheader at Ranburne, and then have spring break, and we have a couple games over spring break. But I typically give my boys a rest, especially here, and and I hate that baseball is the last season, but like you was talking about, you go from playoffs straight into basketball, playoffs straight into baseball. Well, I could play 9 games over spring break, but my boys need a rest.
They need some
and
rest.
so I give them about half the spring break where parents can take them on vacation, they can just go fishing, turkey hunting, whatever they want to do. And then I bring them in. We have a couple practices, play a couple ball games, getting ready for the next week of area, which is Coosa. I'm trying to think. I think that first week back is a big week for us because we play Donahoe on Monday. We got the Coosa series Tuesday and Thursday, and then we play Mountain Brook on Friday.
Mountain Brook. That'd be a good one.
Oh, yeah. I love going down there. It gives us, and I tell the kids, one, I mean, it's obviously going to be hard to ever even be able to beat them.
Yeah.
But we're going to go down there, and everybody they put on the mound is somebody we could possibly see in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have a turf field, so if we ever do make a run, and I can say as a coach I did my job getting them at least one game on a turf field. So
anything Mountain Brook is going to be well coached.
Yes.
And they're going to have some guys that's good at it.
Oh yeah, Coach Gann does a great job with them. Now last year my first year we didn't play well there, and then last year I think they walked it off with a home run and 10 run us. I think it was like 10-0 11-1, something like that. But last year, dude, they had 12 seniors. I'm pretty sure every one of them went to play ball.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it seems from my dugout.
They're good in every sport.
Yeah. But then that last week is the Cedar Bluff series. I don't remember exactly who the non-area opponent is that week, and then I closed the season off with a single here against Glencoe again.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us. It's good to have you on our show finally. And as always, anything you need from us, you just phone call or text away, and we'll be back here, God willing, each and every week for the next 3 to 4 weeks, bringing the same series.
No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, welcome into a very special interview we're doing here, and we have in the Gatorade Player of the Year, Miss Ace Austin. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. This last couple of years has been a whirlwind for you. You've won 3 state championships in just over less than 2 calendar years here, which has been phenomenal. We've heard your testimony on our channel as well, which is the most important thing. You recently was named Gatorade Player of the Year, won another state and finals MVP. When do you got time to be Ace Austin? When do you get to break away and get to go be Ace Austin and hang out with friends and do stuff away from this?
I would say the moment I step into school every day. I know students have came up to me and asked and just said that people ask them, that's like, do y'all look at Ace the same way we look at Ace? And that's coming from an outsider at the school, and they're like, we look at Ace as, our best friend and, just a student who sits in class every day. And they're like, really? And they're just like, yeah. And I mean, every day at school I get to, be with my friends. And I think everybody in my class, we're all so close. So that's when I get to, be myself. And every day after school, I can go out, hang out with my friends. So I get to really be who I am at that time.
Getting to know the community out here, your dad, mom, obviously the other coaches, the players out here, the parents out here, it's a very special place. And I've told this to your dad before, the only other place, and this is no shot at any other school that I can compare this to, is like Fife and what they do in football there. Right. It's just like nothing's getting inside that circle. It's a special place. Can you talk about what it's like being inside that circle and being a big part of that piece of the pie, so to speak?
Yeah, our Spring Garden is a community that's always been tight, and we're like one of them communities that if there's an outsider trying to bust our bubble, trying to interfere with how we connect with each other, we're not going to let that happen. We're all so close, and we all fight for each other. And even people who have graduated years and years ago, they have kids here at our school now, and they're going to keep building this community. And, they always support you. They're always going to be there for you. Motivating you, keeping you confident, making you have confidence. And I think that's very important. And I don't think there's any other better community there could be.
So coming up in this time frame, in this, I call honestly, it's a dynasty of what you guys have done here athletically, but coming up in that, and then your dad and mom being such a big part of it, and your brothers as well, what's that been like? Because now not only is it Spring Garden, now it is your family, your home that you grew up in is another big part of that.
Yeah, it is. It's been it's a really big part, and growing up, just with my parents, with my brothers, and I just remember growing up, always asking my dad, when can I play? Just seeing other players, and my brothers, I've seen them put in a lot of hard work on the floor, and I think me growing up, that made me realize, okay, I gotta live to that standard. And I would come up to the gym, just to shoot with them, and I couldn't compete with them at the time. Even in the backyard, I couldn't compete with them, but I would do the best I can. And our family, we're all there for each other, and we're gonna push each other. And my brothers, we just won the state championship in basketball, and they're like, all right, we're gonna make you the best shooter in Alabama. So they're one of them brothers. They're gonna push you to be the best you can, and I'm thankful I have the family like that.
Yeah, no days off.
Right.
So you do so much outside work that you do outside of what's required of you, which I think what makes you great and others across the state. But you do it because you love it. It's not because your dad and your mom's not sitting there saying, hey, Ace, you need to go do this. They're not having to get you off social media or get you off the PlayStation. What is it about the love for each game? It's not just basketball, volleyball as well.
Yeah.
What is it about it that drives you?
I'm a competitive person. I always have been, and my cousins and they've made me competitive, and I think that's what drove me since I was little. And I want to win, and I want to win in any type of category it is, and I think that's what helps motivate me to who I am today. And my brothers. I know I bring up my brothers a lot, and they've taught me so much, and we went at it in the backyard every day. We would be out there till 12 o'clock at night when we was little.
They make you come in.
Right. And they would send me in the house crying sometimes, and my parents would say, don't go back out there if you're going to keep crying. So I was like, they have made me tough, and still to this day, before AAU season starts, before I committed, and they don't force me to do it. They know I love it, and they ask me, they're like, are you sure you still want to do this? This isn't their decision, and they know that, and they just want me to be happy.
That's right. When you see Christy Curry at a volleyball event or a regular season game like this year, and then she brings the team to watch you, I personally don't have any doubt in my mind you committed to the right place in the University of Alabama. But what does that make you feel like? That's somebody that cares.
Right. And that right there just showed me that it was by far the closest choice to Spring Garden, Alabama I could get. And it shows that they're a community, they're a family, and that's how we are.
Absolutely.
We're all there for each other, and they are too. They support us, and it means a lot, and I can't put it into words how much it means to me to see her show up to a volleyball match, and that's not even the sport I'm going to them for. So, they drove an hour, they drive far to watch, and it really shows that they're going to stick there for me and always be there for me through the ups and downs.
She was phenomenal. She's been at all these events. I've seen her at these events, and we've been covering them. Fortunate enough to get to have a relationship with her. Very good. How much of a relief is it to get that behind you now that you don't have to answer the phone calls and answer the texts, and you don't feel like you being rude or whatever?
Yeah, it's a big relief, and I remember.
It's beautiful.
I remember, the moments before I decided I wanted to commit. There was many nights I got there, no sleep.
Gotcha.
I just had coaches from all over calling me 10:30 at night. It was nonstop, and then I just knew. Why am I wasting their time if I know where my heart really wants me to go? That's
right.
And so I remember when I made that call to them, I brought them all in a group FaceTime, and I was like, I think it's time to say Roll Tide, to them, and they were so excited, and that was the biggest relief I think I've had, and I think that's what helped me this year in basketball. No doubt. I didn't have to worry about to, perform for other coaches. I know that Alabama's coaches are always going to be there for me, and it was just a relief to let me settle in for this year.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
Yes.
Some people relish in that and like having their name thrown out there and saturated, and it fuels them. But other players like you, that's not your goal driven.
Right.
That don't matter to you. You want to do what's right for your family and Ace. So that's I love that. It's beautiful. You was recently named Max Prep Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year, MVP of the Final Four, and again, I think you would be the first person to say you couldn't do any of this without your teammates and your coaches. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. No matter, what awards I bring in, I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to say a single thing about the awards I get, because without my teammates, none of this would be possible.
That's true.
And they push me every day, no matter who I am. They're going to push me and make me go as hard as I can, or if I can go even harder.
That's right.
And I think to get to that level, you have to have teammates that are like that.
Yep,
and,
I agree.
we're all there for each other. We've all been through the ups and downs together. We've had rough days and we've had good days. And I think with a team and family like that, you're able to get really far.
I'm going to ask you about a particular game I loved watching just from a fan of basketball standpoint, and it was the Skyline game in the Elite Eight, I believe it was.
Yes.
And to see how that game transpired is like nothing could go right. You guys were struggling, and then it was just fun to watch. And Coach said it best in the post-game interview. He said, "Hey, I come in with a stack of notes. The guy didn't run anything I said, but that's what we did. We adapted. We had to play through it." How fun was that game for you? Because I know you want to get challenged. You want to challenge. You want to be losing or tied at halftime or something. Talk about that game a little bit and how you guys stepped up and took control of it late.
That was, I think a lot of us could say that was probably one of the funnest games we've played because we don't like blowouts.
That's right.
I mean, most people would want to prefer blowouts. We like to be, to compete. We want it to be competitive. And, to see them, they had a great game plan. They came in here with everything they had, all seniors stepped on the floor. And we knew coming into this game, they were going to bring everything they had. This was going to be the best game they've ever played, and we knew that. And it really did feel like, nothing could go right for us.
Yeah.
And,
First half,
but before the game, he came in there and he said, "I don't care how this game looks as long as we win." And I think that stuck with us, and we was like, just keep pushing, you'll get through it. And, you see all these motivational things, and it's just rocky roads, and then they finally get over the hump. And I think that's what that game was kind of like.
Yep.
And once we finally got to halftime, I think we was relieved. We finally got to halftime, and I knew if we could get to halftime, we would finally settle to who we were.
And it is like a different tune in the second half. And you guys were there defensively in the first half. It's just you couldn't get nothing to fall. And Maggie, there for a stretch, Maggie was kind of playing really, really well. And it was a really fun game to watch. And then when you guys here's the next question. I got a couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here because I'm sure you got work to do as usual.
You're good.
But you get over there into the Final Four. How do you and the guys, or girls in this case, bring it back down and say, "Hey, okay," because everybody in the news media everywhere is like, "That was the state championship game." Well, it's not the state championship game. Everybody said that. It's 1 versus 2. But how do you guys come back in as a collective, refocus, and go down there and handle business like you did in the Final Four?
I think is what helps us do that is realize that it don't matter what ranking you are. Anything is possible at state. I mean, we've had teams go down there and have 4 points at halftime, and and I'm not sure what year it was, but they was probably the best team. We could have been the best team, in the state, and they had 4 points at halftime. So that kind of just shows you that anything's possible at state, whether you're playing lights out or not.
Correct.
I mean, other teams that come down there for the first time, they could have, they could be so excited and energized that they're going to play lights out. So, they've told us stories from, how that happens, and I think that's really settled into us to just stay on our track.
I got to cover 76 games in the 2 weeks and seen basketball from all facets, and you're exactly right. Because I've seen some teams I thought there's no way these guys are losing. Not only did they lose, they got killed.
Right.
And I mean, they didn't hardly score. And I'm sitting here like, wow. So but what you just said is exactly right. Okay, now you're about to head, I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. We'll get you out of here. You're about to head into the all-important AAU with the Southern Stars and Doug Bush. Very important season for you as well. I mean, that's what you love to do. You love to go compete at the highest level and play against the best and play with the best. What's your mindset coming into that, and have you got time to rest and focus up for AAU?
I do. We actually have basketball practice this weekend, but we're staying in a lake house together in Guntersville. So I think team bonding as well, and AAU is hard, and I mean you're playing against players that are committing to South Carolina, UConn, Texas, and so you got to be there for each other, and it's hard because it's kind of new people, so it's not like it is at high school. High school, you've been there for each other since you've grown up. You got to connect with each other quick and fast and be able to learn to be there for each other. And, you know, there's hard games, and I mean,
Very.
there's no easy games there. And we do find time to rest and work hard. And, you know, we don't have many practices. We don't have time to have practices. But the practices we do work hard, get a lot of accomplished. But that leaves us, you know, time to do our own stuff to help provide for our team. But, I mean,
That's good.
thankful for Doug and what he's done for our program. And, you know, he does a lot. And I think he has like 5 teams coming to Guntersville this weekend, and he got us all lake houses too. So I think that just shows what type of person he is.
He's a good dude.
Oh yeah.
I like he comes and supports you guys at the
Right.
playoffs as well. Final question is, before I get you out of here, and we'll have you on for more interviews, God willing, throughout your career here at Spring Garden, and
Yes, sir.
hopefully on it. But what would you like to say to these fans, these family, all these people over the years that have really poured into you and supported you, and you've obviously shown them love back? What would you like to say to all those people?
I would like to say just thank you for supporting Spring Garden basketball and girls basketball, because girls basketball hasn't always been where it is now. And I know y'all want to see girls basketball grow, and thank you for supporting me and the Spring Garden team. And, you know, everybody says kind words to us, and y'all really help us. And, you know, just the little words of, you know, saying you're a great player. I mean, knowing from hearing girls on our team, you know, saying that they said that about me, I mean, it really does mean a lot to everybody. So just thanks for all y'all do.
Well, you heard it from Ace Austin herself. She really appreciates everything you guys do. And Ace, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down with us for just at least a little bit, because we get asked all the time, can you get her to talk, or can you get an autograph, or this, that, and other. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this interview. Then there's a couple of people wanting some autograph stuff. I'll get to you soon. Thank you so much, Ace.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And we'll have this video up very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.